Hey guys, it's Sierra Stafford with PopFuzion TV, and today we're chatting with the lovely Tanya Sam. So how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's so good to have you. We're so excited. So just starting off, I want to say congrats on being a part of the Bravo family Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm a huge fan, by the way, so I love what you brought to the show this season. But tell us what has been some of your favorite moments so far being on the show.
Oh my gosh, I've had such a good time on the show. First of all, meeting all the girls. I knew some of them coming into the season, but it's been such a great opportunity to kind of get to know them closer, to, just have more girlfriends to hang out with here in Atlanta. So I've loved it. But if we dig into some of my favorite moments, I would absolutely say the fashion competition between me and Marlo.
Love.
I loved that. It was one of those things where I feel like, all the girls we were just kind of getting to know each other, and they kind of still looked at me as like geeky, quirky Tanya. It's kind of like the underestimating me. And so they're like, okay, girl, come on. What are you really going to bring? And I completely felt like it was the triumph moment of Revenge of the Nerds, where, they come out and they were like, what? This girl brought it. So that was probably one of my top moments. For sure. What else did I like? That whole trip was really great.
I actually have to agree with that one because, with you being new to the season, it kind of let us know, like, okay, hey, she's not playing. She's a fashionista, honey, okay? So I loved it.
And, I loved it, too, because really and truly, it was a competition. Obviously, I wasn't going to win in the singing department, but I love to just have fun and put on a show. And, I just felt like a little bit of my funny personality got to show through. So that was a really good point. I loved our trip to Tokyo. I love traveling. I've spent my whole life traveling as much as I can with my family and now my fiance. So going to Tokyo was so much fun because we just got to do such great stuff. We did, we did everything from samurai sword fighting to the tea ceremony. So it was just really good to immerse yourself in that culture.
Cool.
And then, just the fun times where we were just sitting down having drinks. Obviously, I loved my hibachi night. But yeah, so it was a great season.
Okay, cool. And so speaking of the ladies, how would you say your relationship with the other ladies on the show has changed from the beginning of the season to now?
Oh my gosh. Well, it has gone super deep with some ladies and super left with others. Yeah, when I started the season, I really only knew Nene. I had gone into her boutique a handful of times and kind of gone shopping there. So that was pretty much my intro to a lot of the girls. And clearly my friendship with her has suffered for sure throughout the season, and we haven't spoken since the reunion. But yeah. So, I kind of understand that sometimes I guess that's how it goes in friendships. I come from a big family. I have 4 siblings. So, there's always ups and downs, and you're closer to one at one point and you go closer to the other at the other point. But at the end of the day, it's always family. And so sometimes friendship and sisterhood is like that.
Yeah, and it's understandable. But we did see that you and Eva started to get close together. So is that relationship still good?
Yeah, Eva lives kind of close by to me. So, and our husbands, both are Morehouse guys, so we get to hang out. Same, Portia and Dennis. Mike and Paul and Dennis hang out. So it's kind of easy when the couples like each other. And those ladies are just so awesome and supportive. They've come to, Portia in particular has been to a bunch of my Kate's Club events. So I love people and sisters that, support sisters. So that's really special to me.
Definitely. We need some of that women empowerment. So I love that for sure. So we're going to switch gears here a little bit because you are a woman of many talents, right? So you're the director. You're the director of partnerships for Tech Square. So what was it like making that transition from having a background in nursing to working now in the tech industry?
Oh, good question. So, I come from a medical background. My dad and sister are both surgeons. So it kind of felt like a very natural thing for me to go into nursing. And, nursing is really similar to the tech industry. Your days are jam-packed. filled with adrenaline and you don't get to sleep a lot. So, I think nursing really prepared me for entrepreneurship and the tech industry for sure. And so how it kind of played out was I had started my first business while I was nursing. So, shift work is great for that. You can work 12-hour shifts, and you go home, you sleep a little bit, and you start working on your own company. And it finally got to the point where I couldn't do both because my company needed my attention more than my patients did. So I kind of took the leap to dive into, building a business. And I'm fortunate that I had the support of my fiance, and, he was incredibly helpful in helping coach me into how to make a successful business. And then once I kind of sold that, we started Tech Square Labs. And so the idea behind that was how can we help more people of color, more women, more minorities, more people in the greater Atlanta community build successful technology businesses. So it's been great. It's been just really fun and rewarding. And I love what I do every day.
That's super good to hear. And speaking of your fiance, Paul Judge, we also know you played an extremely role in starting his cybersecurity startup. So tell us more about that and what that experience taught you, working alongside him.
Oh my gosh, I'm very fortunate that I get to work, live, love alongside my fiance, and that we're both passionate about the businesses that we do, because it's honestly a gift that I'm so grateful for. But yeah, when we first started dating, this was kind of my first foray into the technology side of things. He had just started, honestly, on our second date, come up with the idea. It was the PhD research of his co-founder, another Georgia Tech grad. And they had just started kind of creating the idea and the technology behind their cybersecurity company. And, in any startup, it's really all hands on deck. So he was instrumental in being like, hey, can you help me do this? And I was like, no, I can't. I'm not a technologist. I don't know what you're talking about. He was just like, yeah, you're smart. You'll figure it out. And really pushed me off the edge constantly to believe in myself and to push my limits. So I kind of, liken it to a real life school of hard knocks, PhD in entrepreneurship and technology.
Okay, that's dope, because that's what relationship and partnership is about. You want to grow together, not only in the love field, but in the work field as well. So that's really cool to hear. I love that. So tell us about. Yes, I love it. So tell us about your diversity in the tech, and why do you feel like you can inspire women of color to be more involved in this field?
Oh my gosh. Well, for me, I really feel strongly about helping to lean in, lift up, and educate others, in particular women, people of color, and the other underrepresented communities, especially the LGBT communities. This is Pride Month, so I have to shout everyone out because, oftentimes we are not the first people that get the checks written in the venture capital funding world. And how do we kind of work hard to alleviate those gaps and make sure that we have that sort of correct representation, so that these communities can build successful companies and in turn create wealth for their families, create more jobs, and then turn around and kind of repeat the cycle. So for me, part of being on the show too is a little bit about that representation, so that other little girls can look up and be like, wow, my husband went to Georgia Tech, has a PhD. I have, degrees in genetics and cell biology, but somehow we made our way into technology because I really truly believe the future is technology, and everybody needs to find a spot for themselves in that future. So yeah, it's fun, and I just believe truly important to show others that there's a place for you, and there's other people that will fight for you in those roles and in the world.